The Port of Halifax is Canada's eastern gateway to the world. The big ships calling Halifax carry everything from rubber to supply local manufacturing, to Western grain headed to international markets, and just about every consumer product you can imagine.
One of the most powerful features of the port is diversification. So the fact that we have been able to take the business and reach it into so many different aspects of the economy of the province of Nova Scotia and Atlantic Canada means that it is a huge engine for this part of the country.
In 2014, the Halifax Port Authority commissioned an updated economic impact report. The report shows the importance of diversification in terms of overall business development.
I found it extremely interesting to look at what the economic picture is today, the economic impact of our port, versus the last time we did the study back in 2007. And of course that's interesting to me because I want to make sure that we're going forward, that we're growing, and that our impact is as big as it can possibly be.
The overall impact of port-related activities is worth over $1.6 billion in economic benefit, and is responsible for 11,820 full-time equivalent jobs.
We set about a strategy to diversify the port. The reason why we did that is to insulate the port against the ups and downs of a global economy that doesn't always go straight up. Sometimes there's dips, and we saw a big dip in 2008 and 2009. So we set about diversification to make sure that we would be able to take advantage of opportunities and to insulate ourselves from the real dips.
There has been a strong recapture rate in containerized cargo and gross tonnage following the recession. Containerized cargo performance through the Port of Halifax grew 14.2% from 2008 to 2013.
We have our what I'll call our core business. Our container terminals, they kept operating through the lengthy period of construction. So that business continued and continued nicely. And on top of that, we can layer the economic benefits of, $200 million worth of construction. And that would include extension of piers at Halterm, a new truck gate at Halterm. That would include some deepening at Fairview Cove. And it certainly includes the brand new terminal at Richmond Terminals, which is coming onto the market at an ideal time as Irving Shipyards begins to cut steel for the shipbuilding project.
The updated economic impact report shows the increased value placed on the cruise industry in Halifax, now worth an estimated $104.3 million in annual economic benefit.
What we haven't talked about and what we had not measured before is the provisioning of those cruise ships from vendors in the city and the local community. So for example, they take on food, they may take on many and other kinds of provisions. Maybe it's paper towel, it could be any number of products. So altogether, you're talking about an economic impact from those cruise vessels of $100 million. One of the things we want to make sure is that people truly understand that even though that cruise ship only comes for a day, there is still a tremendous impact. So it's a very good story.
Through diversification by design, there are now measurable increases to the economic contributions associated with the Halifax Seaport.
And we've been building on that momentum year after year after year. It's interesting because we tend to talk about the same part of our business, whether it's containers or cruise. But what this report shows is that we are so much more than just one piece of business. We are a very large, diversified business that is a huge underpinning of the entire economy of this province.
The Halifax Seaport Farmers Market contributes significantly to the economy of Nova Scotia and is worth over $40 million in economic benefit each year.
So what I like about this is, yes, we are running a farmers market and people love the farmers market. But for me and for our organization here at the HPA, we know that this is helping producers, farmers, families in Nova Scotia to earn their living and to create safe, secure food supply for Nova Scotians. It's important because what it shows is that the port is so much more than simply something that's really good for Halifax, because it goes all through this province. Whether it's transportation, whether it's trade, whether it's cruise, whether it's the farmers market, every single thing has spin-offs outside of the city. So as a Nova Scotian, that is very important to me.